blasphemy law introduced in Britain?
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Hot Takes, and welcome back to the Middle Ages. Welcome back to the Dark Ages. Welcome back to a land where we now have, in law, a blasphemy law. Not put through by Parliament, put through by judges who has decided that Britain needs blasphemy laws because you're not allowed to talk about religion. Now, I'm going to say at the beginning...
Wait a second. A council to define Islamophobia for government policy. What the fuck? While no formal blasphemy law exists in the UK, the application of public order and hate speech laws to acts like the Quran burning suggests a selective sensitivity towards Islam not extended to other religion. This inconsistency raises questions about whether the authorities are prioritizing community cohesion over free expression. What the hell are they doing over there? The fuck is that?
People have rights. Ideas do not. You do not insult someone because of their beliefs. But it does not mean that the beliefs themselves are inviolable. One can disagree very angrily with the teachings of a religion, as long as one does not insult the followers of that religion. Often the followers, of course, are victims.
Yeah.
Brainwashed as children into believing all sorts of guff. But that's not what's happening here. No, in this country now, we may not criticise religion. We may not criticise the teachings of a religion. We may not insult a religion, even if the tenets of that religion are obnoxious in the extreme.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Actually, yeah, this is not good. It begins, as I said, do you guys see how every single day what I've been saying is becoming more true? Every single fucking day.
Because some little wanker of a judge has said it's wrong to stand there and say F Islam while burning your own book. A book you've paid for with your own money. Mm-hmm. But that's what's happened. The British court has been accused now of single-handedly reversing the Age of Enlightenment and taking us back to superstitious bullshit where, because some dark age...
It's not even superstitious. Like, I mean, if somebody wants to be religious, that's fine. But this is authoritarian. That's the problem. It's the authoritarian nature of it more than anything else. Yeah, it won't stand up to appeal, to be honest. We'll see.
Bronze Age peasants wrote a book on a Levantine hillside somewhere in the Middle East. We've got to treat that with all the respect it's due. It's bullshit. It's bollocks and it's wrong.
I'm sorry, guys. I totally agree with them. I do. I absolutely, completely, 100% agree with them. Like, I understand a lot of people get into religion and it's just a cultural thing. But the moment that you say that, like, it can't be criticized and it can't be made fun of, you've totally lost me. I'm sorry. You've completely lost me.
A man, a British man, who burnt the Quran. Well, actually, he's not British. It is even worse. A man who burnt the Quran while shouting F Islam was found guilty. Hamid Koskan, who is himself a Muslim, an ex-Muslim, it must be said, an asylum seeker from Turkey, was filmed burning the book while shouting that Islam was the religion of terrorism outside the Turkish consulate in February. He was violently attacked by a passerby who has not yet been charged with anything.
So let me get this straight. This guy sets his own book on fire. And like, I get, like, look, I mean, I can see the government's point of view. Well, we don't need people setting fucking fires out in the middle of the street. Like, I get that. Makes sense. Sure. Even if it's your own book, we don't want a fire in the middle of the fucking street and the sidewalk. But like, the other guy didn't even get charged at all? Incitement to racial hatred is a crime in the UK? Islam isn't a race. That's not a race. That's a religion.
Koskinen was found guilty of racially aggravated public order offence. Really? What race? What race is Islam? Islam is not a race. It's an idea. You're supposed to attack.
I'm so happy to see this, that it's another guy, like another fucking basically almost boomer Reddit atheist. Like I'm really vibing with this a lot. This is great. I'm having a good time watching this.
Ideas. That's the scientific principle. Disagree, sometimes violently, with ideas.
Yes.
Islam hasn't got a race. The person who follows Islam might have a race.
Sure.
But please do tell me, what race is Islam?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a bullshit. I hope this goes to appeal. He was said to have been motivated in part by hostility towards members of a religious group, namely the followers of Islam.
Duh.
Judge John McGarver insisted the prosecution was not an attempt to bring back and expand the blasphemy law. I'm calling bullshit on that, because that's exactly...
I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know if I believe it.
What this is.
Mm-hmm.
We are living in sad times. You cannot
sure
now criticise religion, especially if it's that religion. We must all get on our knees and pray to welcome the Islamisation of this country in law, because we're not allowed to disagree with the book that says that beating women is acceptable, that child abuse is acceptable, that throwing and killing and murdering gay people is acceptable.
Yeah, if you think that bringing this up and criticizing this is a problem, you are a problem. That's what I think. Every religion has problems, and if you pretend like one religion is immune from criticism, you're totally out of your fucking mind. Bet he can't attack Jews either. I don't know about that. I mean, like, in my opinion, I think you should be able to make fun of Jews, Islam, or Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. You should be able to make fun of all of them. You should be able to criticize all of them. I don't think that anybody should be protected. And if one of them's protected, all of them should be protected. In no universe should only one of them be protected. None of this makes sense.
Apparently, that's now the accepted credo in this country, that is acceptable. So I suppose now I could say, hey everybody, I'm going to go out and murder gay people because I've converted to Islam. And there's nothing the authorities can do now, because they've just done this. They've just said that you're not allowed to criticize Islam.
Yeah, not being able to criticize, like, it's actually, and I know where this is what's going to cause a lot of people to become radicalized in Europe, is that as soon as they have laws here that are enforced asymmetrically in favor of a certain religion or a certain group of people, that will alienate and radicalize everybody else against them. Yeah, it's going, like, people are going to pop off about this. It's all fear-based. Yeah, I think it's also, like, the U.S. really doesn't want Iran to have nukes. How far would they go to let a country that already has nukes go? Well, I don't know about that. Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, like, J.D. Vance said something like that before, too. And the Brits don't make kids, they'll be a minority? I guess so.
We live in strange times.
When is violence the answer? Not now. The answer is in my opinion, I don't know. Actually, I really, what am I talking about? I don't know how Britain's politics work. I have no idea. But I know that, like, for example, in France, there was a tremendous amount of people, like, you know, because, like, Marine Le Pen was, like, probably the main, like, party of, like, basically French Western values, get rid of migrants, right? She did not get all the votes. A lot of people, and the majority of people, did not vote for her. So whenever you're looking at who's at fault here and who's wrong here, it's the people in the country that are voting against it. They vote against their best interests. That's it.
I wonder if the guy burnt a Torah or a Bible, would he have gone up in front of the judge? I suspect not. I'll stop. Thanks very much.
This obvious double standard is going to radicalize so many people. And whenever it finally does happen and people start, kind of realizing how bad it is, they're going to totally fucking lose their minds. And I think it's just creating more racism. It's creating more actual intrinsic base. This guy was based as fuck, by the way. I totally agree with him. Yeah, let's see here. There's between 350 and 400K. What's this here? I'll see if I can read it real quick. And 400K Muslims that agree with jihad in the UK. There's around 76,000 soldiers. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of Muslims that agree with it. It's the same with anything, right? But like, what my point is that whenever you have, this is the same reason. It's like, why are men voting for like conservative issues? Well, the reason why is because conservative issues don't systematically disenfranchise them and disadvantage them. That's the main reason. Yeah, that's the reason. And so like guys feel like they're being put at a disadvantage, so it alienates them against everything else. So that's the big thing. And 76K is bigger than the UK Army, by the way. Well, I have no idea. But they don't integrate in society. The only real way to stop it is to remove them all from the country. Well, I think that there are probably a lot of them that probably can integrate and do fine, but you have extremist people that are a big problem. And I think that's the major issue that a lot of people aren't realizing and aren't able to understand is that and also, by the way, do you know who understands this really well? Is that the majority Muslim countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and UAE. They understand this and they're on top of it more than Britain is. They have to be on top of it because they understand it better than fucking anybody. And where has it worked? I mean, I don't think they have a bunch of like crazy shit like that happening over there. They don't let it happen. People immediately pop off. Both they are incredibly intolerant. Saudi and Qatar doesn't have any Jews. No, I understand that they're intolerant to other things. I totally get that. But what I'm saying is that calling something for what it is, I'm not saying that they're good and Britain is bad. What I'm saying is that in this specific issue, they're able to correctly identify it without being afraid of being labeled racist. And because they're able to correctly identify an issue, they're able to deal with it. Because if you can't identify an issue and you can't define an issue, you can't solve a problem. That's it.